We're going through the 10 worst games in my collection, and I have a special guest here who's done all the picking, choosing, and judging for himself. This is Brian from Game Brigade.
Thank you for that introduction. So I got here and I quickly saw this wall of games in Jesse's living room, and I said, is this your bad collection? Because these games suck.
Okay. I, for the record, have no knowledge of the games that Brian has picked out. I'm very interested to see what he thinks are bad. And also, over on his channel, we'll leave a link at the top of the video description. You can go not only hit the subscribe button, but watch a video ranking the 10 best games here in my collection as well.
Very hard to find.
Here's what I'll say. If you disagree with him on any of these, please swing over to that video and leave an angry, mean, offensive comment to defend my honor. If you agree with him on any of these, swing over to that video and hit the subscribe button because it will, help support the idea that I'm not a board gamer, as Brian likes to continually remind me.
Yeah, he's not. I in fact believing that none of these creators actually play board games.
Except you've been here for a couple days now.
I will say we played a lot of board games. I will say.
We had a good time. We just got done with Dune Imperium over on your channel.
It was a great game.
All right, let's swing into this. What do you think are the 10 worst games in my collection? And do you have any methodology that you approach this with?
So I basically...
Just spite mostly?
No, I went with games that were really just bad or games that had, poor mechanics.
Okay.
This game is a game that really doesn't feel like a game. It's basically the basic mechanics are the most boring I've ever had.
Most boring mechanics you've ever played.
Mechanics. Dice thrown.
Oh, buddy.
Marvel.
Oh, buddy. Do you know why this is in my permanent collection?
No, but it shouldn't be.
It's not because of me. Shira Chavin.
Is this a Shira
Big fan of Marvel Dice Thrones. Big fan of Dice Thrones in general. Wes Todd also is willing to play it with her.
Yeah.
I am right here with you. This is one of my biggest disappointments of the year, and I'll tell you why. Because I spent hundreds of dollars on it after knowing I didn't like original Dice Thrones, with the desire, the hope that I would like Marvel Dice Thrones a little bit more.
I got this game and I realized it is just a very basic Yahtzee game. You're just rolling dice and
I do understand why people enjoy it. I do understand. It doesn't help that I have lost every time I have played Marvel Dice Thrones.
That's a point.
That does not help. I always try to push my luck and it completely falls apart. This is also theoretically, probably why Roxley doesn't ever talk with me.
Probably. It's a good reason. This one is one I doubt you've played.
Oh, man.
But it's a game
You're one for one. We agree so far.
This one, so highly touted.
You don't think I've played it?
No. Huh. This was a shut up and sit down top game, maybe of the year.
So, should we do a video on Shut Up and Sit Down?
We probably should.
Because you and I agree.
Yeah.
We both came into the hobby through them. And then bought the games they sold us. And then discovered...
They're bad. They're bad games.
Their tastes are completely wrong.
So that would be King's Dilemma.
Okay, I have played King's Dilemma.
You have played it?
I have. I played, but I didn't do it as like a group that was ready to play through a campaign.
Okay.
I did a session of it. And wasn't able to see the story arcs conclude. So right when it came out, I was excited. We played a session, then we put it away because it didn't feel like it had much consequence to it. I have now talked with Wes Todd, and this is actually way up on my list of I want to sit down and do a full gameplay of either this or the Queen's Dilemma with the Mingo specifically. He loves this game.
This game is hard because it's a game that if you're playing it through role-playing the game, like I'm going to play this game with my friends and we're going to really embrace the characters, maybe.
I love a good role-play.
Maybe. But that means you have to have 6 people.
Have you seen us committed to the voices?
Yes, we have. We've been pretty good with that. But this is a game that's pretty much, it's got a mini game in it that you're trying to accomplish, and it becomes a gamer's game where you're just trying to game the system. You really don't care about the story that it's presenting.
One of the worst.
It's not a very good game.
You're a bad guy, Brian.
I don't like that one at all.
Before you pull the next one, you want to tell people what you do over on your channel? Encourage them to subscribe a little bit more?
I would love to talk about my channel.
Just heavy-handed a bit.
My channel, I'm a lifestyle board gaming channel.
You got like, what, 2,000 subscribers at this point?
I'm a little bit more than that. About 6.8.
Oh my gosh.
6.8 thousand.
This is a real guy.
We're almost there. We're still growing.
It's a real dude.
So I talk about Kickstarters. I talk about board games. I talk about lifestyle. Morally, it's about the hobby in general and the joy and the love of being in it. talking about collections, talking about culling, you know.
You make really good lifestyle videos.
Yeah.
You also enjoy having an active and ongoing conversation with your audience, which is two of the things. If you enjoy the videos that I make that are much more conversational, and you don't love the here's a brand new Kickstarter type thing as much, like Game Brigade is going to cover some of those bases.
Now there are a few games
of course
that I like to cover. One was Nemesis. This is Lockdown. I haven't actually covered Lockdown, but I have covered Nemesis.
You're telling me another one that's one of the worst?
This game sucks.
This is one of the worst videos?
So this is a game
You're going to get me in trouble.
I loved Nemesis when I first played it, but the reason I have Nemesis on this list is it is a game that can have the highest highs but the lowest lows.
Can have very low lows.
And I don't want to risk playing a game that could be just an awful experience.
I am outspoken and undeniably wrong that I didn't really like base Nemesis.
Yeah.
That is very public.
Yeah.
I also, over the last year or so, I have had a complete arc because Lockdown came in.
Okay.
And I really like Lockdown, and I'll tell you the one thing that makes Nemesis a 5 out of 5 game for me, a perfect game for me.
If you dare say it's cooperative play, you're wrong.
Nope. It is specifically the narrative campaign.
Yeah, the side stories.
The side stories.
Yeah, I do
because
agree.
they change it from just a survival system to the mechanics are adapting and now you're going through this journey together. I think Nemesis is brilliant. I also agree with you.
Yeah.
It has some of the worst experiences in gaming that
Not only that, the mechanics are rough, and the game is already difficult and it stacks on more difficulty things unnecessarily at times.
I will tell you this.
Yeah.
Lockdown's staying in my collection.
I haven't decided on either one.
Original has moved on.
Really?
Original has moved on.
I had hard time finding it, so that's why I found that one.
Lockdown's staying, but Original's not.
So, keeping on brand with Awakened Realms, I'm going to show you a game that I've never seen anyone...
Another Awakened Realms?
In this game, I've never seen anyone tell me they play it without a house rule to fix it.
Ooh, Etherfields?
I almost pulled that one. The only reason I didn't is I never played it.
Oh no, Grail!
Tainted Grail.
Oh man.
This game is a game that...
You're so wrong.
...is an incredibly story-based game.
This is in my top 10.
I've seen people play this game, but not play the game.
Yeah,
they just want to read the story.
I know.
That's not a game.
I loved the story.
And the fact that I could buy a book for $10 and get the same experience of a story.
It's not the same experience. There are some things. The Meniers specifically are frustrating as sin.
The way the game is made is bad.
As some of the creatures just start following and trailing you around, you do kind of get just a little bothered by them because you can't do much about them. They just kind of are there and they're always a plague. Outside of that, I will say that this was one of my favorite games. And
because of the narrative.
It has been and it has been and the card mechanics.
Really?
I like the card play a lot. I like the deck construction. However, this has been entirely replaced by another game. As soon as this game arrives, this will be out of my collection.
It hasn't arrived yet.
Yes.
Or fully.
It has not arrived yet.
Well, who makes it?
Awakened Realms makes it.
It's not the second version of it.
It is the second version of this. It is so good. They listen to the audience. They have 100% fixed some of the annoying things. To the point where they even made fun of themselves in the game itself. They turned the Meniers into a porta potty to be like,
it's literally the first one you meet.
We get it. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, we understand. We understand.
All right. This one is part of a trilogy. A trilogy of games that's very highly touted.
Trilogy
from
of games.
Simon Games.
Simon Trilogy. Oh, is it Rising Sun?
It should be, but it's actually going to be Ankh.
You don't like Ankh?
I don't like Ankh.
I don't like Rising Sun.
You know, I haven't played Rising Sun enough to warn it. The first time I played it, I was like, I'm having fun.
We really liked Ankh.
I don't like Ankh, but I played it at 5. I've played it at 3. I've never played it 2. So I've heard that 2 might be the fix for Ankh.
Okay.
But I know at 5 it was miserable. The things though, the thing that I don't like about the game is the combat.
Can you go home
Yeah.
on the back of this video
Okay.
and just pull every one of these titles and do like a 10-minute video on your own channel talking about how much you despise them?
No.
Can we do that? Can we do that, please?
So Ankh,
I think people would watch that. Leave a comment down below. Do you want Brian to just go straight up like cutthroat on our industry?
we should.
Like just like rip some skin off?
This game has some mechanics that don't make sense. First off, you have powers and abilities that you're going to be upgrading. There are ones that are strictly the best ones in each tier, and I think everyone almost always will take them. And in the third tier, if you're not the first one to get them, you probably aren't going to lose, or you're probably not going to win.
You'll probably merge
because they're so powerful in that third tier that those people who get there first are going to most likely skyrocket.
So we do have this in the collection as a Shira and I game.
Yeah.
Does not mean we're going to does not mean we don't want other people to play with us.
Yeah.
But we do have it in the collection as a Shira and I game. However, I do have to say the very first time I played this, I tried to do merging mechanic solely. Like I killed my stats to merge with someone.
Yep.
Didn't work.
The first time we played, I made a maneuver in one of the area control sections, which was strategically a good move, but it hurt the person in last place.
Yeah.
But then they were way further down. I merged.
Yeah.
But I have to go all the way down.
Yeah.
It basically took both of us out of the game, and we're done. We couldn't get out of the red by that time.
It's an interesting concept.
It was a cute attempt, but poorly implemented.
Apparently one of the worst. Let me know, how good do you think my collection is if these are the worst games he could find?
This one, my wife struggled to finish.
Your wife's not right about most things, though.
And
I'll just be honest about that. You can share this video with her. Yeah. I've heard the stories you've been telling me.
She married me, so that's a problem.
You knew where I was going.
Destinies.
No!
This game...
I really like Destinies.
I know, and that's why I put it on here, because it sucks.
It's so thematic. It sucks.
It's the Destinies...
Can you just title a video that? Destinies sucks. Have you done this on your channel yet?
I should.
We got so many good ideas for you.
Destinies is a game where it has a great opener in terms of a feel. You're like, wow, this is pretty imaginative. I'm going to enjoy this. But the core mechanics of having overlapping objectives for each player is a bad move.
I will give you that in a 3-player game.
Even in 2-player.
No. In a 2-player game, you're either going to different tracks or you're going head-to-head. That's fine.
But you don't know. And so let me give you the feel bad mechanics. If someone finds something that you're looking for, you're now way behind. And it's a hunt and goose chase or whatever, looking for what you're looking for. And if they finish their story first, who cares about what you were doing? Because you're done. So you don't get to finish your story.
The cross section is a bit of a letdown. I would not recommend this at 3 players. Even though I have fun with it at 3 players, I don't think I would just go tell people. Solo and 2-player is great.
I agree. So I don't think solo play is good either.
It's an amazing story. And let me clarify, Witchwood
fixes it.
Witchwood goes in and makes it so that you can steal something from me. Yeah. But if you do, there are consequences to be brought. I lost the game on Witchwood, even though I got to the ending first, because I had stolen something from someone else. And the Dark Quarter.
So that's what I was about to say. I felt Dark Quarter fixed what Destinies.
So you're not mad at the system. You're not. Mad
I think the system was a good step, and there was a lot of ways they could take it.
They're saying this didn't work, and they're learning.
This was a first step. That was a stumble, but I think they fixed a lot of problems. I will give you that. I'll say the new stuff coming out in the world of Destinies, in the world of the Dark Quarter, is going to be better than any of the previous stuff. So this is a game I'm going to say I would love to own because of FOMO. But I think the gameplay is so boring and bad.
Ring of the Flamingo?
No, I like that game.
It's a good game. Oh, no.
United.
How many times have you played?
Once, it was awful.
This is arguably one of the best game systems.
No, it's awful.
The best modular systems.
Did you play this at, how many players did you play this at?
Any player count.
So I played it at 4.
Awesome game.
I played it at 4. I was the 4th player, which meant the villain went twice before I even got to activate once.
He goes once.
And it hit, because he goes once, and then he goes again after the 3rd player.
Sure.
So the 4th player, he goes twice. So that was the 4th player. So I got punished twice. I was like, okay, so on my turn I do nothing because I have nothing. It sucked. It was another feel-bad moment. But the mechanics are pretty boring. It's very shallow to me. I didn't think it was worth the cost that people spend on this game.
So you got to mix in more of the characters, more of the scenarios.
Yeah, I get it.
This game has more modularity than I think any other game in my collection.
Yes, and I talked about that in one of my last videos.
It's so cool.
If I were to buy this game, I think it would be fine buying the Walmart exclusive $16 one.
No.
You get all the joys of it, and then I can throw it away.
Fancy things. You're wrong, and that's okay because it's more.
So we're in the final 3.
I hate the final 3.
We're in the final
I have not
3.
liked this list at all. This has not been fun for me. I want to clarify that.
The final 3.
I think you're a bad guy.
This one might
Hey, if you've watched to this point and you still care about Quackalope, don't subscribe to Game Brigade. I'll be honest about that.
If you're on Team Quackalope,
I'm personally unsubscribing.
You like bad games.
Oh, no.
This one This game sucks.
I'm not even going to say anything.
This game sucks.
Go ahead, dig your hole, my friend.
Full cooperative experience of a game here where you are, trying to save your island from invaders that want to live with you.
Yep.
But it's very difficult, unfun, and has made every person I've tried to introduce this to never want to play board games again.
Holy cow.
They don't want to play board games because of this stupid game.
How many people have you introduced it to?
4. And they're like, don't want to play games like that anymore. Don't ever show me another cooperative game.
Have you considered
that they're bad at games?
That they just don't like you?
No. I think they love me. I think they're not the best at games.
Was one your grandmother?
Shut up.
Okay.
But yeah, what do you think of Spirit Island?
I'm not. The comment section will defend this game enough on its own.
It's not a good game.
Enough on its own.
I think I've even seen people say the only way they liked it was having to play it solo. Is the only way they're able to enjoy it. I think it's not a good game.
I don't even need to say anything about it. The world knows. The world knows. You know, right? You know.
All right, let's get this big behemoth out here. Mosaic.
I haven't played this one yet.
So this one's interesting.
Played this and really liked it. What's going on here? You're gonna hurt my.
So Mosaic is a game that was super high for me the first time I played it.
Okay.
Loved it. I was like, this might be one of my top games. I want to play it again. But then we played it again, and it was the same game.
Okay.
So I'm like, interesting. I didn't really feel like anything new happened. We played the exact same experience. Did it again. Same thing.
Wow.
And I started asking myself, does Mosaic just present the same puzzle every time? Because it doesn't really matter. A lot of the cards, you think there's a huge deck.
Yeah, there is.
But there's a lot of cards that are basically the same. And the interactions with your opponents are very limited to some of the random military cards. I'm only keeping this in my collection right now in hopes that the expansion that was on Kickstarter fixes some of these problems and creates a game that's a little bit more where we're not playing solitaire with each other. Here's the other things though. The way the area control mechanics work in this game, where you are building your cities and your wonders and locations, can create runaway winners with certain people because the points scale based on what's in that region. And if someone wins it, they can get 20 points, you get 2.
I don't mind a real good solitaire puzzle.
It makes it runaway winners. It just does not.
I like smaller games. You got those there too.
I get it.
We'll see.
It's a game that has tiered down.
Really like this. I'm excited for her to come home. This is one that we'll get to the
This went from a solid 8.5, almost 9 for me, down to a 7, and it's been steadily falling.
Dropping. It's dropping. Oh my gosh, that's heartbreaking.
The final game.
Oh no. The worst game in my collection.
It's hard to say because this was the game that brought me into board gaming.
Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you think you know what it is.
It's a Stonemaier title. Brought me into board gaming. Really, I bought this. I have it.
I mean, I know I've got Rolling Realms, I've got Scythe, I've got Wingspan, I've got Viticulture downstairs.
Yep. So I will tell you, I've fully painted it. I have a broken token wooden insert. I have metal coins.
You're grabbing Scythe, my man.
I'm grabbing Scythe.
Oh my gosh.
Scythe.
I'm like $800 into this game.
Same. I saw your stuff. I'm
got metal
other than
minis.
the metal minis.
I got
that's
metal
the only
minis.
thing I don't
Although
have.
I'm a little upset with Stonemaier Games.
Yeah.
Because I went to pull out one of the metal minis, and like the metal piece of it
fell off?
Snapped.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of metal is that?
I don't know. But like I messaged, but I didn't get anything. Like it just broke, and I'm like, that sucks.
That's really lame.
I spent like $60 on these things.
So Scythe is a game that I will give it the credit. This is more of a divisive.
So I agree. Screw Scythe.
This is a divisive pick. I don't think Scythe is bad, but definitely for me, I've outlived this game, and I don't think it's as good as I feel like other games are out there. I think it's an okay little.
The theming's amazing.
The theme's why I bought it, but it's not. It's
classic Stonemaier Games mechanics, which is do one of 4 things.
Yeah, it's
every
not good
Stonemaier
mechanics.
game. Check it.
I'm not going to give you things. It's a Tapestry, good game, but not a great game.
Do one of 4 things.
I like how we're just talking over each other. We have no idea what's happening here.
I do. You're saying that it's not a great game. I'm saying Stonemaier only puts out games that allow you to play 1 to 5 players and do one of 4 things.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Wingspan?
Why change the formula? They do well.
Yeah, they do well. I really like Scythe. I have not played this in probably 1.5 to 2 years. Before pre-pandemic, we had a big game group that used to get this to the table nearly every other week.
Yep, same.
Loved the game. Loved the nuanced play when you had a group of friends that were learning about each other. The last season I did through this was a full campaign of Rise of Fenris.
Yep.
And
Did you finish it?
Finished it. That was a blast. but we had some very feel-bad moments in it for the group.
We only got about four sessions or 5 sessions in the Rise of Fenris.
There was a moment on the Rise of Fenris where I finished the game in about 3 turns, and the game group looked at me and went, You ruined our night.
Yeah.
That sucks.
What are we going to do? I think Scythe is a great game. I think it's a good way to introduce to it, but I think it's not as good as people think.
You heard it here. Worst game in my collection.
Well, to be honest, I didn't tier list them, but they're all bad.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Whatever the case, whatever you do, remember to do the important thing. Go subscribe to Game Brigade.
And play board games.
Leave some mean comments on his videos to help defend our honor. Because after this list, I'm not convinced he plays board games.
You're going to be like, what does Brian like?
He doesn't like anything. But if you do want to know what he likes, swing over to the video and take a look. We're going to do the top 10 now. The best games in my collection. Oh, man. After this, I'm pining to see. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.